Beyond the reach of time, where the fabric of reality thins into a shimmering tapestry of silver and obsidian, lies the celestial void. This is the graveyard of forgotten eons and the birthplace of unwritten futures. In this silent expanse, two titans of human belief stand across from one another. They are not merely gods or men, but the very personifications of the cosmic laws that have governed civilizations for millennia. On one side, the air hums with the scent of copal incense and the wet earth of the Mexican valley. On the other, the atmosphere vibrates with the resonance of a single, eternal word spoken before the foundations of the world were laid. First, behold the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl. He is the precious twin, the lord of the morning star, and the architect of the Aztec universe. His body is a marvel of divine craftsmanship, scales of shimmering emerald green and turquoise reflecting the light of 1,000 dying suns. Great plumes of quetzal feathers flow from his neck, trailing behind him like the wake of a comet. He is the god of wind, of wisdom, and of the arts, but he is also a god of blood and sacrifice. To create the current age of humanity, the fifth sun, he descended into the dark depths of Mictlan, the land of the dead, to steal the bones of the ancestors. He bled himself upon those bones to give them life. He is a cycle of death and rebirth, a creature of the earth that can soar to the highest heavens.
I smell the dust of a distant desert on you, stranger. I am the breath that moves the clouds and the wisdom that carved the calendars. I have seen 4 sons perish and helped the 5th to rise through the shedding of my own essence. Why does a shepherd stand before the king of the Toltecs?
Across the shifting sands of the void stands Jesus Christ. He does not wear the gold of kings or the feathers of a god. He appears as a man of the Levant, dressed in simple, worn tunics, yet his presence is more staggering than the most ornate deity. Around his brow is no crown of metal, but the invisible weight of the cosmos. His hands bear the marks of nails, and his side bears the scar of a spear, yet from these wounds emanates a light that does not merely illuminate, but creates. He is the Logos, the Word made flesh, the Alpha and the Omega. He is the sacrificial lamb who became the Lion of Judah, the one who claims to have conquered death not through a cycle, but once and for all.
I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. I see your feathers, serpent of the dawn, and I see the burden of the ages you carry. You seek to sustain the sun with blood, but I have offered the blood that ends all sacrifice. The law was given through servants, but grace and truth have come through the Son.
Quetzalcoatl hisses, a sound like the wind rushing through a canyon of obsidian. He does not take the challenge lightly. The void around him begins to churn. The serpent god begins to grow, his body lengthening until he circles the very stars of the arena. His wings beat, creating a hurricane of primordial force. This is the Ahakat, the divine wind that swept away the inhabitants of the second sun.
You speak of grace, but the universe demands balance. For the sun to move, there must be a price. For the rain to fall, there must be a debt. I am the debt payer. I am the one who sacrificed my own dignity to bring fire to the people. You are but a single man, a flicker in the long history of the stars. I will blow your light into the darkness.
Quetzalcoatl strikes first. He releases a blast of celestial wind, sharp as 1,000 maquahuitl blades. The wind carries the weight of the mountains and the fury of the tropical storm. It tears through the void, aimed directly at the figure in the center. But Jesus Christ does not move. He does not raise a shield or summon a weapon. He simply speaks.
Peace, be still.
The words ripple outward like a stone dropped into a still pond. The hurricane, a force that could level cities and reshape continents, suddenly loses its teeth. The obsidian wind turns into a gentle summer breeze, fluttering the hem of the Nazarene's robe before dying away into nothingness. The silence that follows is heavier than the storm. Quetzalcoatl recoils, his great eyes glowing with the fire of the morning star.
You command the elements with a word. I have fought the lords of the underworld. I have outsmarted the dark Tezcatlipoca. You shall feel the heat of the sun you claim to have created.
Quetzalcoatl lunges. His form shifts, becoming a streak of white light, the embodiment of Venus as it rises before the dawn. He strikes with the speed of a falling star, his claws of jade aiming to rend the soul from the body. Jesus moves, not with the frantic speed of a warrior, but with the deliberate grace of a master of time. He sidesteps the serpent's path, and as he does, the void around him transforms. Where Christ walks, the darkness turns into a garden of lilies and olive trees. The blood that drops from his ancient wounds does not stain the ground, it turns into rivers of living water that burn the serpent's scales.
You are a creature of the earth and the sky, Quetzalcoatl, but you are bound by the very cycles you serve. You die with the setting sun and wait for the morning to be reborn. I am the light that never sets. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, shall live.
Quetzalcoatl circles back, his feathers bristling. He gathers the spirits of the fallen warriors of the Aztec heavens, the Sensen-Totocton and the souls of those who died in battle. A ghostly army of jaguar knights and eagle warriors manifests behind the serpent, their cries echoing through the void. They charge, a tide of ancient fury, seeking to overwhelm the lone figure.
See the power of my people. The strength of the blood that has fed me. We are the masters of the ritual, the keepers of the celestial order.
Jesus Christ raises his hand. He does not summon an army of angels, though he could command legions. Instead, a blinding radiance begins to emanate from his very being. This is the transfiguration, the unveiling of the divine nature that dwells within the human frame. The light is not yellow or white, it is a color beyond the spectrum of the universe, a holy fire that judges the heart and heals the spirit. As the ghostly warriors enter this light, they do not fall in pain. They stop. They drop their weapons. They look upon the face of the king and see not an enemy, but a father. Their fury dissolves into peace, and they vanish into the light, finding a rest that the bloody altars of Tenochtitlan could never provide.
My warriors. My legacy. What sorcery is this that steals the hearts of the brave?
It is not sorcery, but love. You offer them a cycle of endless war and rebirth. I offer them an eternal home. Your son requires the heart of a man to stay in the sky. My father gave his heart so that men might live forever. The shadow cannot coexist with the light, and the old law must give way to the new.
Quetzalcoatl, sensing his influence waning, prepares his final move. He coils his massive body, concentrating all his divine essence into a single point. He becomes the world tree, the Saba that connects the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. He attempts to crush the Nazarene beneath the weight of all human history, all human culture, and the crushing reality of the earth's gravity. The void shakes as the weight of the Aztec world descends.
I am the foundation. I am the roots of the world. You cannot stand against the weight of the earth.
As the massive weight of the world tree descends, Jesus Christ reaches out and touches the bark of the cosmic serpent. In that moment, the arena changes once more. The celestial void is filled with the sound of a hammer hitting a nail. The world tree of Quetzalcoatl begins to shift, its branches warping, its form changing until it is no longer a tree of life, but a cross of execution. Jesus takes the center of that cross, and for a moment, it looks as though he has lost. He hangs there, the weight of the world's sins and the serpent's fury pressing down upon him. The darkness of the void intensifies, threatening to swallow everything.
Finally, you are broken upon the very wood you claim to master. The cycle claims you as it claims all things.
But then, a sound begins to vibrate from the very core of the cross. It is a heartbeat. Strong. Steady. Eternal. The darkness does not swallow the light begins to drink the darkness. The wounds of Christ begin to glow with a power that transcends the physical. The cross, once a symbol of defeat and the physical manifestation of Quetzalcoatl's weight, shatters into fragments of starlight. Jesus Christ stands once more, but now he is clothed in a robe dipped in blood, and on his thigh is written a name, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
It is finished.
The shockwave of those words strips the feathers from Quetzalcoatl's back. The great serpent is forced to his knees, his emerald scales dulling as he realizes the fundamental truth of this encounter. He is a god of a time and a place, a beautiful and terrible myth that reflected the human struggle for meaning. But Christ is the meaning itself. The serpent represents the earth trying to reach the heavens. Christ represents the heavens descending to the earth.
I was the dawn. I was the promise of the return.
And the dawn is beautiful, but it must give way to the day. Your return was a hope, my return is a promise. Go now, serpent of the wind, and know that the debt you tried to pay has been settled in full.
Quetzalcoatl bows his head. His form begins to fade, turning into golden dust that scatters across the celestial void. He does not vanish in hatred, but in a strange, newfound peace, as if the burden of maintaining the universe has finally been lifted from his shoulders. The Jesus Christ remains in the center of the void, his light expanding until the arena itself is gone, replaced by a new heaven and a new earth. In this theological and physical confrontation, the victory belongs to Jesus Christ. While Quetzalcoatl is one of the most complex and magnificent deities of the ancient world, his power is fundamentally cyclical and limited by the need for ritual and sacrifice. He represents a system of debt. Christ, in the context of comparative theology, represents the end of that debt. His victory is based on the logic that a God who is the source of all existence and who conquers death through a singular, eternal act of self-sacrifice must logically supersede a God who is bound by the seasons and the shedding of blood. Quetzalcoatl is a king of a fallen world, Christ is the King of an eternal one. If you enjoyed this epic clash of gods and legends, don't forget to strike the like button and subscribe to our channel. Join our community of historians and myth seekers as we continue to explore the greatest stories ever told. What battle would you like to see next? Leave your suggestions in the comments below.